But like I think part of the issue with like our society and like probably the world society, it's not just the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, we'll come back to that. But so like take the U.S. for example. Are we really educating our children enough? Because you believe in global warming, like you
Mm-hmm.
know
Yes.
it's real, you know
Yeah.
it's an issue,
Yeah.
but you know it's an issue because of what you've been told,
Mm-hmm.
right? Not because of thing or like if you learn something you have to be told the information,
Mm-hmm.
but you aren't like clarified on like why it's such a negative thing. Because like I feel like part of the problem is that we sort of just follow social trends.
We
You know
kind
what I'm
of,
saying?
I know what you mean. We kind of rub it off onto it. You know what I mean? Like we
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
just pass it on, like it's like a story almost, but it's like a thing that like we need to know. But it's kind of like a, yeah, like a story that you just pass on from
Yeah,
generation to generation, and
exactly.
nobody's like actually like
Exactly.
doing something for it.
Yeah, and if we pass on it, so even if we believe it and we don't take action, then what is there to do?
Yeah,
Because
that's a lot of it too, because people say, yeah, I believe in global warming. I think it's terrible, but we'll litter, we'll do,
yeah, exactly,
like stuff like
exactly.
that. So I don't it. That's a tricky thing because I just think it's weird to see who will actually do something and who won't, because I mean, especially like on camera, who would not like even right now, like I'm saying I would never do that, but like who would know? Would I could go litter
Exactly,
right
yeah.
now and say, oh, I love like
Yeah.
picking up trash or something like.
And then you have like all these people who's like, yeah, I'm a huge environmental
Mm-hmm.
supporter, and then they're flying in private jets
Yeah.
and like all these different things, and like, oh yeah, like you know.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, now let's turn to like Europe for example.
Mm-hmm.
So like, do you know anything about the way they're doing different environmental things?
I've heard some. I don't know
So,
too much
like
though.
France's turn to, I'm pretty sure they're mostly nuclear energy at this point.
Mm-hmm.
France is mostly nuclear, and then also they have a lot of different systems in place for like environmental issues.
Mm-hmm.
So like they have different trashes taken out every week.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
there's like five different things.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, and then like their cars to conserve not only like gas but to stop like emissions as much.
Mm-hmm.
They'll turn off on stoplights. Like cars will turn off
Yeah,
at
yeah.
stoplights to stop the
Yeah, I've seen
emissions.
stuff like that.
So, like, do you think the U.S. needs to go to those lengths to be able to stop things?
Of course. I think they should even expand on it, like I was saying earlier, because we're a top country, just like France.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are following France as well, if you know what I
Yeah.
mean. So I feel like if it was major countries doing it, more like I don't know how to say it, more other countries that like I wouldn't say less important, but like aren't as like
Yeah, yeah.
top
So,
tier,
yeah.
like wouldn't be. I think they would follow what
Yeah. It's like
like majority's
like
doing.
having a celebrity and then you basing your actions
Yes.
off that
Yes.
celebrity. Yeah. Which makes sense. But then that comes to the problem is, will we actually, will the U.S. actually be able to do that with its current political state?
If I'm being honest, no. And if we have the same president in the next term, I don't think we will be able to next term as well.
So do you think it could become an issue? So say we vote Trump in again,
Mm-hmm.
and say we don't vote in someone who is environmentally conscious. Do you think that will not only further negatively impact the environment, but sort of push towards that irreversibility of global warming?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, which could be a extremely serious problem. In the
Yeah,
future.
and that's the it. It sucks thinking about that because it's already such a close race for next. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to go off topic, but it's such a close race, and I've read things that are saying like we have like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever, to like actually fix something until like it's you can't
Yeah.
fix it anymore. Which I mean, I don't want to believe, but I feel like everybody should believe because
Yeah.
it
And-
like even if that's false information, it's getting to that point soon where like it's really gonna become irreversible.
And we're coming to the point, like, you know, Greta,
Yeah.
the Swedish girl who was part of the climate councils and stuff,
Mhm.
because people are like, oh yeah, she's over dramatic. But do you think at this point that's what we need? Is someone who's gonna completely dramatize it?
Yeah, and
So
the one thing I like about Greta is she likes to make you feel uncomfortable. She doesn't like to just address a topic. She likes to make you like as you saw in like some of her speeches, she liked to say you are the reason why we're having it. We're the reason that we're having it. She likes to come directly at you, which I think more people should do instead of like saying, "Oh yeah, we should try to do that." No, like she likes to attack you personally, so it makes you feel like
No, you have
we
to
need
do
to
something.
do something.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I really like about her,
Yeah, I think she's a great example of where we need to turn to.
especially being so young. And
Yeah.
if a young person is realizing that, and we can't, a 74-year-old can't realize that,
Yeah,
it's,
exactly.
there's something
But-
that needs to be done.
Alright, so then I have one final question, which will sort of like wrap this whole thing up. So you're 18,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I would say within like 10 to 12 years, you'll probably have a kid.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully.
So if the environment is still in the state as it is, and we're still progressively worsening,
Mm-hmm.
would you actually bring a kid into the world?
Like, yeah, I eventually want to have kids, but like, that's the tough thing too. That's like, I don't want to bring it into like somewhere it's gonna be having to have a breathing mask, not
Yeah,
be able to
exactly,
go outside and
exactly.
enjoy itself. Like that's like saying like, if you have you seen The Walking Dead?
Yeah,
Would you want to bring a kid into a world that's all zombies and like, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, you have to reproduce, but
exactly.
they're not gonna do anything for the world. It's gonna be scary for them. They're not gonna enjoy life. Like, so that's a tough question. I don't know.
Yeah, which is, in my opinion, probably the biggest problem is the future generations that are gonna have to deal with this. Because you could be thinking, yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna have to deal with this when I'm
Mhm.
70, but what about your grandkids? Like, are you thinking about that?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I definitely think about that too. That's what I was saying like earlier about rubbing the information off about global warming. Like, we've been doing that since
Yeah.
I don't know when, probably the 70s, 80s, around there.
Mm-hmm.
We've just been rubbing off global warming onto the next generation,
Yeah.
and it's finally come to a point where we need to do something. And I feel like a lot of people are still going to just be like, "Oh, next generation got it, next generation
Yeah.
got it." You know what I'm saying?
And at some point, it's gonna come to a point
Where
it's,
they can't say next generation, like that's the last generation.
And then if they do say that, then it's over.
Yeah, that's the last generation.
Yeah.
So
All right, man. Well, I appreciate you coming
Thank you.
on. Thank you for talking to
for
us
having me.
about what you
Thank
think
you.
of climate change. So yeah, check out the rest of the website, guys, if you want to find out more about global warming and climate change as a whole. So yeah.